So let me get to Ice Cube. Hammer rolled up on Ice Cube at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and he rolled up on him because Hammer got wind that Ice Cube was poking fun at him on the in the True to the Game video, and it goes, when you first started rhyme, excuse my throat. And it goes, when you first started rhyming, you started off slow, and then it started climbing, but it wasn't fast enough, I guess. So you give your other style a test. You was hardcore hip hop. But look at yourself, boy. You don't flip flop, giving your music away to the mainstream. Don't you know they ain't down with the team? You just sit there lost over, put a bug in your ear. And now you crossed over. You're on MTV, but they don't care. They'll have a new nigga next year. You're out in the cold. No more white fans and no more soul. And you might have a heart attack when you find out the black folks don't want you back. And you know what's worse? You're just like the nigga in the first verse. Stop selling out your race and wipe that stupid ass smile off your face. Niggas always gotta show their teeth. Now I'ma be brief, be true to the game. Now I would play the verse in question. That was off of Ice Cube's second album, Death Certificate, and the song was called True to the Game. And it was one of my favorite cuts off of Death Certificate, right along with Doing Dumb Shit and a few others. But anyway, Hammer approaches Ice Cube at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Ask him if the person in question in True to the Game was supposed to be him. Ice Cube flatly denies it and says True to the Game is about whoever fits the shoe and whatnot. Now, Ice Cube pretty much written a letter to the editor in Source Magazine, and Source Magazine printed it up, and Ice Cube pretty much said what he had to say about it. And I would post the letter in question in this video, except I don't really have that issue of Source Magazine anymore, because when I moved from my mama's house eons ago, most of my magazines were thrown away. So there you go. So anyway, yeah, that letter was in the Source Magazine. And after I read that, I started to look at Ice Cube in a different light. I mean, Ice Cube is supposed to be this hardcore hip hop rapper, and then when a clean, happy-go-lucky rapper like an MC Hammer steps up and approaches Ice Cube, he all folds like some chairs, like one of them folding chairs, lawn chairs or something, and it just was like, well, Ice Cube, you say you're the wrong nigga to fuck with and everything, and when MC Hammer stepped up to you and asked you about True to the Game, you pretty much was all stuttering and all staggering over your words and stuff, to the point where you had to write a letter to the Source Magazine to straighten things out. I don't get it. I mean, if you were in fact talking about Hammer, which I think you were, you should have just manned up to it and faced the consequences like a real man does. Because if you're going to start fires, you should know what comes with a fire. You should know that smoke comes with that fire. You should know that a fire is going to spread pretty quickly and it's going to get very hot. You should know what comes with that, Ice Cube. And if Hammer did approach you and there were several goons out there, you should have just been ready for whatever came with that. But I don't know. I mean, the whole landscape of hip hop is just too political. It was kind of that way then, but it's more so now, which is why you don't really see rap songs where rappers diss other rappers. So anyway, yeah, MC Hammer was about approaching people that dissed him. I have yet to hear about MC Hammer approaching like a Damon Wayans who dissed him and said can't flush this or any other comedians that, diss Hammer or TV shows that dissed Hammer. I don't and don't forget, what was that movie? Don't Be a Menace dissed Hammer too, and so did In Living Color. So apparently, Hammer's source of contention was between other rappers. It wasn't with comedians. It wasn't with sitcoms and other people. So to wrap this up, was Hammer in fact a gangster, or was he just too thin-skinned or sensitive? I would say that Hammer was. I mean, during that period, Hammer carried Oakland and his neighborhood on his back. And most of the people that rolled in that circle were goons. I have seen Hammer perform live in concert before. He puts on one hell of a show, but as I said earlier, he isn't the greatest rapper in the world. Was he in fact a gangster? I just think that Hammer was just thin-skinned, and he just happened to roll with people that were about that life and whatnot, and took no shorts. Because contrary to popular belief, not everybody in those rough environments were gangsters. Some just put on a persona and did what they had to do in order to survive and not to be messed with. And I think Hammer was one of those individuals. And I think later on, when social media became in vogue and in fashion, people started putting the gangster label on MC Hammer, and then you started hearing all these stories about Hammer's gangster and everything. So that is just my opinion about it. I don't think I just think that he was sensitive. I just think that there were other ways he could have handled these situations without going to the extremes. And I understand that this is going to be unpopular with some, but this pretty much just needs to be said and pretty much needs to be known because I lived through those times. I remember when MC Hammer came up, and I remember seeing MC Hammer, quote unquote, go down. So I remember all of this. And I'm going to leave some links in the description box so you can see some MC Hammer related videos, and you can come to the consensus and conclusion as to what you'll believe or what you'll not believe, or maybe you'll just go along with the popular narrative about Hammer. But to me, he was a mixture of Gyp Rosetti from Boardwalk Empire and Marlo Stanfield. That's the vibe I get from him. But anyway, audience, tell me what you think. Let me know in the comment box. This is Iron Will Media.